All right, so we're going to be solving proportions. You have already seen this. They just look like equivalent fractions. Okay, proportions is just another way to say fractions. You're dealing with ratios. So let's jump into, there's 3 different methods you can do solving proportions. Most of you will be able to mentally solve it just looking at the problem on the very simple ones. But you need to know the steps so that way when it becomes difficult, it's easier to do. The multiplication property of equality is the second way you can do it, and then the cross products property. My favorite is the cross products property. Okay, it's the one that's the simplest, if it's more complicated than mental math can do. So, example 1, put this in your journals. We're solving 5 over 7 equals x over 21. Okay? So, using multiplication property means I'm trying to get the x by itself. So I'm going to show you the 2 different methods real quick. To get the x by itself, I have to move this 21 over to the other side. What kind of math is happening here?
Mental math.
No, it's division, right? It's a fraction, which is technically division because you're doing x divided by 21. That's what that says, right? We just leave it as a fraction. So in order to move it, I multiply times 21. Okay, that cancels this out, and I'm left with x. And then I do 21 times 5 over 7. If you do that, you'd get 15. This is the multiplication property of equality. This is not how I expect you to solve this, because cross products is way faster. But I do need you to understand this concept, because you will see it again next year. Okay? So, now let's do it products way. I hope you all wrote that down. Cross products, I'm going to rewrite 5 over 7 equals x over 21. So to solve for that x, I'm going to cross multiply and then divide by my lonesome guy.
Which is 15.
Well, yeah, we just did it. But let's do it. What is 21 times 5?
105.
105 divided by 7
It's 50.
should be 15. So then you know x equals 15.
Wait, you call 107.
Yeah, 21 times 5 would be 107, right? Is that what you said?
You said 105.
I didn't actually do it. 21 times 5. Oh, it's 105. Who told me 107?
It's 105.
I heard 107. It's 105. Cool. I don't mind being corrected. Point it out. So 7 into 105 is 15 times. Any questions on how to do that? Let's do on your own number 1. Grab your piece of paper. Okay, so my variable, my letter, W, is in a different location. Can I still do cross products? Yeah. I'm going to do 6 times 6 and divide it by 7. What's 6 times 6?
36.
36. I had too many different answers there. And then divide that by 9, what do you get?
4.
So W equals 4. Okay, number 2, we have 12 over 10 equals A over 15. Which ones am I going to multiply?
12 and 15.
12 times 15, which equals 180 divided by 10, which equals, that one you should be able to mentally do, guys. 180 over 10 you should mentally do because you just lop off a 0. So 18.
A equals 18.
Correct. A equals 18. Any questions? Let's do number 3. New pages. We have y over 6 equals 2 over 4. Which 2 am I multiplying?
6.
6 and 2. divided by 4. What's 6 times 2? 12 divided by 4 is?
3.
Told you guys you're going to fly through this.
We have calculators.
And you have calculators, so you don't even have to do the division. I make my 6th graders do this with no calculators.
We already did it.
Yeah, you did it. You passed 6th grade. Yay. All right, example 2. Put this in your journals. A, we have x over 8 equals 7 over 10. What am I multiplying?
7 and 8.
And then dividing it by?
10.
So what's 8 times 7?
It's 56.
Divided by 10
5.6.
is 5.6 for my answer. Okay, for B. Woo, that's the wrong marker. B. That looks cool. We have 9 over y equals 3 over 17. What am I multiplying?
17 and 9.
Yep, let me get a different color. 9 and 17, and then dividing it by 3. What's 9 times 17?
153.
Divided by 3.
51.
Woohoo, so y equals 51. Any questions? Are we going too quick, or is this
So
pretty good?
both fractions are equivalent, right?
Correct.
So you're just finding the.
You're finding what makes the other one equivalent. That's exactly right. All proportions are considered equivalent, guys. All right, on your number 4, put this on your paper. 2 over 7 equals x over 28. The third method, let me show you the third method real quick. I know this is on your own, but just look up here for a moment. Because I know you're all going to do cross products, because that's the fastest, easiest way to do it. This one, I can show you the other one because it's easy mental math. What times 7 gives you 28?
4.
2 times 4 is what?
8.
So x equals 8. So when it's simple math, that's what mental math is. You can just go, well, 7 times 4 is 28, so 2 times 4 is 8, done.
Can we write that on our own?
Yeah, you can do this on your Oyo. You might put it as an example in your journals just to remind yourself. I'm not going to require it, but if you liked it, then do it. So 12, and this is number 5. 12 over 5 equals 6 over y. Here's another good practice on mental math. How do I get from 12 to 6?
2.
I divided by 2, right?
Yes.
So 5 divided by 2,
5 divided. Oh, that would be 2.5.
2.5. So y equals 2.5. So on the simpler ones, you can do mental math, no problem. That make sense?
Yep.
Anybody have a question on that one? Aha, here's the next one I'm excited about. Everybody got this? Okay, good. You just treat it the same. This is number 6. All right, so let's do this together. We have 40 over z plus 1. Oh no, we have an expression. Equals 15 over 6. Okay, cross products means I'm doing this times this should equal this times this. That's what cross products mean. What we have had is in the variable there's no extra anything. So all you have had to do is multiply and then divide. In this case, we're going to multiply both and then simplify. So first of all, what's 40 times 6?
240.
240. So then I do 15 times z plus 1. Put it in parentheses. So there's a little bit more solving to this. So now I need to distribute. What's 15 times z and then 15 times 1? 15z. And then plus, what's 15 times 1?
So 15.
Good. So now to get the z by itself, have you guys never seen anything like this? Abraham looks at me like it's weird. Am I making
Same
this?
as Pem did?
Am I making this harder than I should?
Well, keep going on.
I mean, this is what you're gonna be doing next year. So then I subtract 15.
Oh, yes, now.
What's 240 minus 15?
That would be 225.
So then I get 225 equals 15z, and then I just divide by 15.
225 divided by 15.
Yeah. Is this way out of the ballpark of what I've normally done with you guys? Well, that's basic algebra. Let me see if there's a easier way to do this. Letting you look at that real quick. Let me look at it and see if there's a simpler way to do this. I mean, the mental math, you would say, well, 40 divided by what equals 15?
That would be
I'd use my calculator.
Wait, what'd you say?
40 divided by what
gonna be a
equals
decimal.
15? Yeah, it'll be a decimal.
it's never.
Oh, so that's ugly. So let's not do that. Oh, I know an easier way. Silly me. Okay, let's do it again. There's an easier way to do it. That is a way to do it, and you will eventually be doing it that way. But let's do it this way. Put this in your journals. It's a good example for you. And you already know what the answer is going to be, but we're going to do it anyways. Okay, so we cross product and divide. What's 40 times 6?
40 times 6 is
240.
240. And then divide that by 15.
15.
240 divided by 15?
16.
16. Okay? So normally we're done, right? Normally z would equal 16. But we have z plus 1. So now we just subtract 1.
oh, that's so much more simpler.
I know. I just took me a moment. I had to think.
Mine, the C sprain is.
There is often more than one way to solve a math problem, guys. Shh. I encourage y'all to pick what method makes sense to you. 8th grade is learning this too. There's more than one way to do it, often. Some brains work different than others. I have no problem with you doing it a different way than even what I taught you to do, as long as you're coming out with the right answer. And I can usually follow your brain. I can see all the pictures. Sometimes I'm like, well, it's a little fuzzy. Most of the time I got you. Okay, did this make sense this time? A lot better than the other. So you saw a little preview of what you're going to do next year with algebra. You're being introduced into algebra next year. Don't worry, it's easy. You'll be fine. Okay, so let's start example 3. Let me take a picture of this graph. Shh. Guys are getting a little loud. All right, example 3. The toll due on a turnpike. You guys know what a turnpike is?
Yes.
It's a toll road. It's another way to say toll road. Is proportional to the number of miles driven. How much does it cost to drive 150 miles? Okay, so first they're telling us it's proportional, meaning that it's a straight line on a graph. In order to find the rate of change here, that's the slope. Have y'all dealt with slope much yet?
Yeah.
So how do we find the slope of this?
Oh, we have to go.
Rise over run, right? So what's the change in y over the change of an x? Let me show you another way. You can write change in y with a triangle. Change in y over change in x. Triangle means change in this instance. Okay, so the change in y. So looking at my y value of the lower number, it's what? 7.5, right? So 7.5 to what's my new y number?
15.
So what's 15 minus 7.5?
7.5.
Okay, over my x. My first x was 100, and then it went over to what?
200.
Okay, so 200 minus 100
It's 100.
is 100. Okay, let's make this a decimal. 7.5 divided by 100 would be, just move the decimal twice. Remember, if it's divided by 8, you just move it twice. How many zeros? Okay, so this is my 0.75 cents per mile. That's how much it costs. So not,
Isn't this in money?
this is how much it costs.
0.0.
0.075, so not even 8 cents per mile. That's pretty cheap. I like it.
Oh, yeah,
What they want you to find out is how much would it cost to drive 150 miles?
Wasn't that just 200?
So that times 150.
So you're going to do 150 times your rate that you figured out.
Times 0.0.
11.25.
So it's going to cost you $11.25 to drive 150 miles.
Did you have to say on your phone, right?
So this is one way you could have done it. What we did, we solved for a unit rate. When you solve for a unit rate, it means you're taking your fraction down to over 1. Okay? The other way we could have done this is leave it as this proportion. So let me write that. We have 5 over 100. It's not 7 point, is it 7.5? Yeah. Okay? So that was our proportion. And then they wanted to know how much it would cost to go how many miles? 150. Do I put that on the top or the bottom? Bottom, yeah, because the 100 is dealing with miles here. So 100, you got to put miles with miles. Okay, so now you just cross, multiply, and divide. And you're still going to get the 11.25. Make sure you label it with a $sign.
That's another way to do it.
So that's the second way you could have done it. I want you to see both ways. The first way, we found the unit rate, meaning we simplified this fraction down to 0.075, which is technically over 1. We just didn't write that. We put 0.075. Okay, so that was one way, the unit rate, or you can take the ratio and solve for the equivalent.
But isn't that both solving for x?
Yep, either way you're solving for x. Either way you'll find the right answer. Good? All right, last one. I assumed they were going to use this example. They are. This is on your own number 7. In example 3, how much does it cost to drive 75 miles of the Turnpike? All right, do we want to use our unit rate or do we want to use our fraction?
Unit rate.
Unit rate. So we're going to take 7.075 times how many miles? 75. What do you get?
5.625.
5.6, what? 625. Now this is money, so we round to 2. So what's the 5 make the 2 do?
3.
So this is $5.63. Easy peasy. I've heard, what is that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Where did I hear that from? It's from something. I'm easily entertained. All right, you have done OYO numbers 1 through 7. You can either turn that in or continue adding to it. Practice problem solving, PPS. Haha.
Show our work.
Yes, show your work. Because like that one homework assignment, if you had shown your work, I wouldn't have had to make you redo it. Show your work. At least write the original equation and then show me what you did to solve it. You're doing numbers 4 through 27. Notice 25, 26, and 27 is the ones with the weird. Okay, so just remember, cross, multiply, divide, and set that equal to the other part and solve for the variable. You'll be fine.
If it's a subtraction, then you do a addition.
Yes, to move it. Absolutely.
Opposite.
Yes. Not the water.